In the rugged heart of Montana, beneath the shadow of a rocky cliff, a chance discovery in 1968 reshaped our understanding of the earliest peoples to set foot in the Americas. What emerged from a routine construction site was no ordinary archaeological find. It was a small skeleton, carefully buried, dusted in red ochre, and surrounded by finely crafted stone tools, an astonishing glimpse into a vanished world. This single burial, now known as Anzic, remains the only confirmed human grave associated with the Clovis culture, one of North America's most iconic prehistoric societies. The child interred there, nicknamed Anzic I, lived approximately 12,600 years ago, and his genome is the only complete genetic profile ever recovered from a Clovis individual. It also stands among the oldest full human genomes known from the Americas. The Clovis culture, first identified near Blackwater Draw in New Mexico, produced some of the most distinctive artifacts in the archaeological record. Exquisitely crafted fluted spear points made to pierce the hides of colossal Ice Age animals. More than 10,000 of these points have been recovered, scattered from the Atlantic coast to the Pacific, often at ancient kill sites where mammoths and mastodons once fell beneath the hunter's weapons. But the Clovis lived at the edge of catastrophe. Around 12,900 years ago, at the end of the Pleistocene, the climate suddenly plunged into what is known as the Younger Dryas, a centuries-long deep freeze. As temperatures fell and megafauna began to vanish, the Clovis way of life faded, leaving only their tools as silent markers of a world in transition. For decades, archaeologists believed these people were the first pioneers to enter the Americas, arriving from Siberia across the Bering Land Bridge roughly 15,000 years ago. Yet mounting evidence began challenging this simple narrative. The turning point came in 1968, on the ranchlands of the Anzic family near Wilsall, Montana. During a gravel excavation, workers unearthed fragments of human bones mixed with more than 100 Clovis artifacts. Two individuals were present, Anzic I and a second, far more fragmentary skeleton, but only the infant, Anzic I, was suitable for scientific study. The child, no more than 18 months old, was laid to rest with care. His bones were stained red with ochre, a pigment used in rituals across ancient cultures, and interred beneath an astonishing cache of tools. Radiocarbon dating later confirmed the burial, 12,600 years old, occurring at the very twilight of the Clovis age. For decades, the remains were held in storage at Texas A&M University, examined occasionally by researchers. Then, in the 2010s, the explosion of next-generation DNA sequencing offered something previously impossible, a chance to decode the child's genome. A team of scientists from Texas A&M University, Montana State University, and others worked alongside members of the Anzic family, including Sarah Anzic, who had been a young child when the remains were discovered and who would later become a molecular biologist. Sequencing the genome was extraordinarily difficult. The boons had endured thousands of years of freezing, thawing, and chemical decay. Yet the DNA recovered showed unmistakable signs of authenticity, including classic markers of ancient degradation. What the scientists revealed was groundbreaking. Anzic I's mitochondrial DNA belonged to haplogroup D4H3A, a rare lineage still present today among certain Native American groups along the Pacific coast. His Y chromosome was of lineage QL54, one of the founding paternal lines of the indigenous peoples of the Americas. When researchers compared his genome to modern Native American and ancient Eurasian populations, the results were decisive. ANZIC-1 shared more genetic history with indigenous peoples across the Americas than with any other group on Earth. Statistical analyses showed deep ancestral ties with 52 Native American populations, especially those in Central and South America, such as the Caritiana of Brazil and Maya descendants. Up to 80% of modern Native Americans appear to trace their ancestry to a population closely related to ANZIC-1. But about 20% do not, suggesting the presence of another ancient lineage or migration wave that diverged earlier, illuminating a more complex peopling of the Americas than once believed. His genome also clarified one of archaeology's most contentious debates, the origins of the Clovis people. A once popular idea, the Solutrean hypothesis, proposed that Ice Age Europeans crossed the Atlantic and gave rise to Clovis culture. But ANZIC-1's DNA provided no trace of European ancestry. Instead, he showed a clear genetic connection to Siberian populations, particularly a 24,000-year-old individual from Malta in western Siberia.
The Clovis people were, definitively, descendants of ancient Asian populations, not Europeans. However, the findings did not support the idea that the Clovis were the first Americans. Archaeological sites such as Monte Verde in Chile, 14,500 years old, and human footprints at White Sands, New Mexico, possibly 21,000 to 23,000 years old, show that people reached the Americas long before Clovis culture emerged. After the genomic study was completed, the researchers returned to the community most connected to the child's story. In 2014, ANZIC-1 was ceremonially reburied in Montana, close to the place where he had been laid to rest more than 12 millennia ago. Yet the impact of his DNA remains profound. ANZIC-1 is the only individual whose genome directly represents the Clovis people. His DNA links a once mysterious prehistoric culture to the living descendants of the first peoples of the Americas. And as new discoveries and technologies emerge, the story of ANZIC-1 may be only the beginning of what ancient DNA can reveal about the earliest Americans. Implications of this discovery. The DNA of ANZIC-1, the only confirmed Clovis individual ever discovered, has fundamentally reshaped our understanding of the first Americans. For decades, the Clovis culture was believed to represent the earliest population to inhabit the Americas. But the genome of this 12,600-year-old child revealed a far more complex story. His DNA showed unmistakable links to ancient Siberian groups, confirming that the ancestors of Native Americans originated in Asia, not Europe, and directly disproving the controversial Solutrean hypothesis.